You know, in the entire book of Revelation, there are few moments as just jaw-droppingly cinematic as what we find in chapter 18. Today, we are going to decode the absolutely terrifying fall of this spiritual superpower they call Babylon. So let's just dive right in.
I mean, just let that sink in for a second. Babylon the Great is fallen, is fallen. Wow. This isn't just a prediction. It sounds like an obituary. It's this announcement of total, complete collapse and spiritual emptiness. So you have to ask, right? What makes this statement so final, so chilling? Well, we're going to break it down, literally word by word.
Okay, so it all kicks off with the messenger, and this is so important. The verse doesn't just say an angel spoke or said something. No, the original Greek is super specific, and it totally sets the tone for everything that comes next. The Greek word they use here is ekkroxen, and this is not just talking, not even close. It means to shout, to cry out with this incredible intensity and urgency. It's a cry that demands you listen. You can almost think of it like a celestial emergency broadcast system, blaring a warning that something massive, something world-changing has just happened.
And what kind of cry are we talking about? Well, the text gets even more specific. It says it's with an iskechera phone, which translates to a strong or mighty voice. So it's not just about volume. This is about authority. This is a voice that is absolutely packed with divine power, and it's making a declaration that is final. No appeals, no second chances.
All right, so let's get to the main event, the core of this proclamation, the fall of Babylon. And again, the way this is phrased in the original language, well, it tells us something absolutely crucial about this judgment.
So the word for fallen is episen, and what's so fascinating here is the grammar of all things. It's written in what's called the Greek aorist tense. Now, don't worry, we're not going to get too bogged down in linguistics, but what you need to know is this: that tense signifies a completed, decisive action. In other words, from God's point of view, Babylon's fall isn't something that's going to happen. It's already a done deal.
And notice it's not just said once. He says it twice. Fallen. Fallen. That repetition is so key. It actually echoes other prophecies like one in Isaiah. This isn't just for, poetic drama. It's to hammer home the point that this collapse is total and it is complete. There's absolutely no coming back from this.
Some scholars actually have a name for this. They call it an emphatic double aorist, and it just brilliantly captures the sheer weight of this announcement, doesn't it? It's like a cosmic gavel has slammed down. It's a prophetic declaration of a sudden, total, and irreversible end to this powerful system.
So, okay, Babylon has fallen. It's done. But what's left in its place? What does it become? Well, the verse paints this terrifyingly clear picture of its new reality, and it's a complete 180-degree flip from its former glory.
Just look at this list. It's become a habitation for demons, a prison for every foul spirit, and a cage for every unclean and hateful bird. It goes from being this global center of power and wealth to this, an utterly desolate spiritual wasteland.
And here we go again with the specific Greek words. The word for habitation is katokiterion. Now get this, it's a really rare word in the New Testament, so when it pops up here, it's a big deal. It suggests this isn't just some temporary haunting, like in a ghost story. No, this has become the permanent, official home for demonic forces. They've moved in for good.
Then you've got the word phylake, which means prison or cage. And just like before, it's used twice to really drive the point home. It paints this picture of absolute lockdown. These foul spirits and unclean birds, they're not just passing through. They are the new, permanent inmates of the spiritual ruin.
Okay, so let's shift gears a bit. We've looked at the language, now let's unpack a deeper spiritual meaning. Because according to one really powerful interpretation, this mighty cry in Revelation 18 is actually a direct echo of another mighty cry, one that completely changed the course of human history.
Check out the parallel here. The strong voice of the angel in Revelation is seen as a direct spiritual mirror to Jesus' loud cry on the cross. And in this view, that cry from the cross wasn't a cry of defeat or pain. It was a roar of victory, a declaration that the war against darkness had just been won.
So what does that mean? It means that that very moment on the cross was the judgment of this world, the system that Babylon represents. The angel in Revelation then isn't delivering a new sentence. He's just reading a verdict that was sealed, signed, and delivered 2,000 years ago.
Okay, but that brings us to that last piece of really vivid imagery, right? What in the world are these unclean and hateful birds that are now roosting in Babylon's ruins?
Well, symbolically, these birds are basically predatory forces. Think about it. They represent the false spirits that twist and pervert the truth. They're the demonic presences that literally feed on people's souls. They are spiritual scavengers, just picking over the bones of a dead and corrupt system. It's a powerful image, isn't it? It shows a complete takeover by darkness once the true light is gone.
Okay, so we've looked at the Greek, we've broken down the imagery, we've explored the theology. But so what? What's the big takeaway here? How does this ancient, dramatic prophecy actually connect to how we understand our spiritual reality today?
Well, this interpretation lays out a really clear path. First step, Jesus declares total victory over darkness with his cry on the cross. Second step, that victory becomes the judgment that exposes the corrupt spiritual system of Babylon. And the crucial third step, because that system has been judged and defeated, believers are now armed with Jesus' own authority to fight lies and operate in the truth.
So the ultimate message here is actually one of empowerment. It's pretty amazing. The fall of Babylon, in this view, isn't just some scary future apocalyptic event we should all be afraid of. Instead, it's a spiritual reality that has already happened, and that reality is what empowers believers right now, today, to tear down lies, challenge deception, and live in the light.
And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. If Babylon is more than just an ancient city, if it's a timeless symbol for any organized system of spiritual corruption, systems that trade truth for power and profit, then the real question isn't just what it was, it's what it is. Where do you see the echoes of this fallen city in the world around us today?